On out the window. AOA podcast back for another episode. Look at all you beautiful people in the live chat. Hello to Renee, Robin, Onion, Paige, Victoria, Jamie, Bird, Lori. I like that name. The Perks of Being Lori. Great name. Miss Justice Diane. Oh my goodness. Raven, Shannon, everybody's here. I'm here. You're here. That's all we need. And some topics, including a major brothel network, very Epstein-esque. When we get into the details of this story, you'll understand why completely. Plus, remember when we found that Coke in the White House? They released photographs of it. Very, very interesting. And perhaps the topic with the most controversy just built right into it, Oreo-Gate. All that and more, my friends, on this episode of the podcast. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I hope everybody's off to a fantastical start. Your old pal Ant, not looking his best. I've had my head in the toilet for the last 24 hours. A little on the queasy sick side. Ate something bad. Don't know what it is. But good news, developing news. Ate 10 saltine crackers about an hour or so ago. Haven't thrown them up. So we are starting a streak. We are starting a hot streak, as they say in the business. Brothel network. This story kind of got glazed over towards the latter part of last week. And I find it amazing because, again, in the height of all the Epstein craze, people were like client list and who's involved and who's on the airplane and, all these things like we were just dying to know, right? And we're still kind of dying to know, right? It wasn't that long ago that we heard the story of like, oh, hey, they're going to finally put out the Epstein list. I think the Daily Mail reported just a few months ago, like we're getting it. It's coming. And we're still waiting patiently. By the way, we check every single day on the podcast for that list. Still not here. But then this story comes out. And again, I feel like a lot of people just kind of glazed over it. Federal officials arrested 3 individuals who are responsible for a massive brothel and sex trafficking network. Okay, this stretches across 2 states, Boston, Massachusetts, and a little place called Virginia, which if you're familiar with any sort of a map, Virginia, parts of it at least, not too far away from our nation's capital of Washington, D.C. They arrested 3 individuals who have been charged with conspiracy to coerce and entice to travel and engage in illegal sexual activity. Those 3 individuals are Han Lee, Hanlee, a.k.a. Hannah, who's 41 years old, from Cambridge, Massachusetts, James Lee, who's 68, from Torrance, California, and Jimmy Young Lee, Jimmy Young, one word, Junmyung, Junmyung. I don't know how you would pronounce that, Junmyung Lee. 30 years old, of Massachusetts, have all been arrested and charged, have appeared in federal court for these brothels. These are high-end. We just wait for it, by the way. If you're like, where's it? Just wait. High-end brothels in luxury apartment buildings, this, at least in the Boston area, who are paying $3,600 a month for rent. So you're talking about like one of the nicest parts of Massachusetts, right? In fact, it was, it's not like, Fifth Avenue penthouse nice, but nice, and they, I was watching a news piece on it earlier and they were interviewing people and it was pretty typical, 5:00 news stuff where they just got the neighbor on the thing. And did you know there was a massive brothel network operating in your apartment building? And this young lady's like, no, I had no idea. It's kind of crazy. It's weird, but it's true what she was saying. It's weird to be like, living in a neighborhood in a building and there's a massive sex ring going on, like, right, this has kind of happened, here on Long Island. Like, we get this every now and then, but it always kind of happens in a seedy area of town, right? Like, I mean, Long Island is made up of like a bunch of towns. but there's always like that town that's got like the bad area in it, that weird motel, and they're like, "Hey, we busted a major sex ring," and you're like, "Okay." I mean, that's to be expected. Seedy, weird motel. What do you think has happened? I mean, you would think that sex rings would be the easiest thing to conquer because you just go to the seedy motel in town. Because what the hell else is going on there? But as you can see here, they're doing it in high-end apartment buildings with almost $4,000 a month rent. They were advertising on some bizarre websites, Boston Top 1010.com and Brown Eyes Girls va.blog. Who the hell is going to those websites? Both websites advertise nude Asian models and professional photography at upscale studios as a front for prostitution. Could you imagine now? This is where I get hung up on these stories, where you're like, I would like some professional photography taken. And then you come across an ad and you're like, oh, this will be fun. And then you get there and it's a hooker. That seems to be a bit unfair. It's like the old days when you used to stand outside of a stadium and be like, you know, I need 2 tickets. And that meant you were selling 2 tickets to the game. I never understood shit like that. I mean, I understand you're trying to disguise what you're doing, but it's a little confusing. You know what I'm saying? This is why I never made it in the mafia. I couldn't get the lingo, the code. I couldn't follow. So they wouldn't let me in. But anyway, they were doing these things in both Boston and Virginia, similar situations in Virginia. According to the charging documents, the defendants charged buyers a premium price for appointments with women advertised on their sites, which range from anywhere from $350 to upwards of $600 per hour. Everything was paid in cash. The defendants allegedly concealed the proceeds of the prostitution network through depositing hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash into their personal bank accounts and doing peer-to-peer transfers. Additionally, it is alleged that the defendants regularly used hundreds of thousands of dollars of the cash proceeds from the prostitution business to purchase money orders in values under an amount that would trigger a reporting and identification requirements to conceal the source of the funds. These money orders were then used to pay rent and utilities at brothel locations in Massachusetts and Virginia. Over the course of the investigation, a wide array of buyers were identified. Here's where it gets interesting, kids. Including, but not limited to, doctors, military officers, professors, lawyers, accountants, scientists, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, government contractors that possess security clearances, and yes, our all-time favorite, politicians. So we live in a world where right versus left, Trump versus Biden, right? I mean, you name it. AOC versus Gates, wherever it is, we are ready to throw down and battle. Yet a massive brothel sex trafficking ring just got busted up. The investigators have said politicians are involved. Do you hear it? Silence. Nothing. Not a peep. Not anything. Where's the CNN? Where's Fox News? Well, the local networks are carrying it. I get the local CBS affiliate in Boston has the story. Major prostitution ring in their neighborhood. That's easy. Send a reporter down, stand in front. Did you know there was a major prostitution ring going on in the apartment above you? No, I didn't. Oh, how interesting is this? Okay, I get that part of it. But where's the hysteria? Where's the clamoring for information? Where's the what politicians are involved in this? If it's a Boston politician thing, not as exciting. Local politicians, who really cares? But if we're talking about Virginia, and we're talking about a location next to the capital of the United States of America, and you're openly saying politicians and government contractors that possess security clearance are going to these prostitutions, nobody's upset about this. Nobody's waving a flag on this. Nobody is saying, I'd like to know would I like to know who the scientists are and who the high tech and pharmaceutical executives are, yeah, I admit I'm curious about it. Am I demanding to know who the politicians and the contractors with security clearance are? Yes. That feels like we throw that into the demand category. I mean, what the hell is going on? We just got through Epstein. We just got through Ghislaine Maxwell and all that entailed. And now we have a major bust of high-end prostitutes that were sex trafficked to those locations that is close to the capital of the United States that involves politicians, and nobody is getting insane about this. Nobody cares. It's unbelievable to me. It's crazy. Department of Justice says the investigation is ongoing. But they do throw this little nugget in here that they're not sure if they're going to charge any of the Johns. Like, that's what they said. They made these arrests. They apparently shut this thing down. Now, call me crazy. I'm no major entrepreneur. But it feels like once you get one thing going and you know how to do it well, you put it in another location and see how well it does. And then when that's done, you put it in multiple locations after that. It's called franchising, right? McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell, people do it all the time. Are we naive enough to think that they got this at stage 2? Or is it more plausible that this is going on in other locations with these people and we just haven't uncovered it yet? And to Glenn's point, FBI, CIA cover up as usual. It's an interesting point, my friend, because yeah, it is our government investigating our government to a degree. But I feel like once you've confirmed through the investigation that a politician has been there, which I don't know exactly how they did it. I don't know if the girls are just saying it, it's just hearsay and they can't exactly prove it. But when you put it out at a press conference, yeah, politicians and people with security clearance, we're going to need to know who that is. I'm sorry, but that bit of information is going to need to be released. Now, will it be released? I am sure one of the major media networks or newspapers will sue under the Freedom of Information Act at some point and be able to assess this information. But we're probably talking about you're at least a year away from that sort of thing happening, because when you do that, again, an investigation has to come to its completion. But to Glenn's point, how much of this is going to be covered up until we get there? Because let me check my watch. It is November 13th and 2023, and we still don't know who is on this friggin' Epstein client list for certain. Okay, we still don't know. And I know this shit on the internet. I know all of that, but I'm talking about, I want the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA. I want the goods released, unredacted, put out into the world finally for us all to see. I know there's flight logs, and we've talked about all the names that are on there, and Clinton with this 27 times. Well aware. We've talked about it on the show ad nauseum. I'm just saying, I want the goods. I want the Freedom of Information Act released, unredacted information. And I'm putting in the same claim here, because you can't just be like people with security like that's how shit goes wrong. Just watch any action movie. There's some dope going to some prostitute and his badge gets swiped or plans get stolen. I mean, that's how most of these bad movies start. And so why would real life be any fucking different? Just doesn't make any sense. But this kind of like, I think it was like Friday morning, like this kind of broke Thursday, Friday morning on a local level. It didn't really reach its peak until Saturday. And even then, because on top of just like researching for the podcast, we also always kind of do like a little media study and all these things, because I always want to know, like, oh, is this interesting enough to talk about? Is the audience going to find this interesting? Is this big enough to bring in new eyes to the podcast? So we always kind of just see how much media treatment something gets. This is radio silent. I mean, nobody's turning up their head at the politician thing. I cannot Get over it. I know you're probably thinking, Ant, you repeated yourself 4 times now. That's because I'm dumbfounded. I am dumbfounded that a major prostitution ring was busted where they believe that a politician was involved. By the way, politicians, plural, and nobody is calling for any sort of interesting whatever. I don't know. Losing a little faith in it all, people. I got to be honest with you. Losing a little faith in it. The contractors things weirds me out too. Also, at this point, if you're servicing politicians and high-end government contractors, what kind of an accountant's getting in there? That's what I want to know. Like, what kind of an accountant is going to the same prostitution ring as the politicians? I feel like that is like you should be, not to shit on accountants, but that's a high level of thing there, you know? And also, haven't we had enough with the prostitutions already? Like, I mean, if you're a politician and you're going to a prostitute in 2023, how are you not thinking you're going to be like who? I mean, we've the amount of whistleblowing going on in the world right now for lesser things is insane to me. The fact that there are politicians who run shit for us that are walking around going, if I just pay this poor traffic girl enough money, I'm sure that her, whatever piece of shit is pimping her out, will keep my identity quiet. The fact that that is a thought is beyond me. That is beyond me. Like, I'm sure these people will keep this quiet. Like, come on now. Who's doing this? Honest to God, who is doing this? But people are stupid. That's what I continue to learn as I go. You people are just stupid. They just do stupid shit all the time, nonstop. They can't help themselves. Speaking of stupid, the coke that was found in the White House, Hunter Biden's coke, allegedly. I added the Hunter Biden's part. I'm just assuming. I have lots of cousins who dealt with drugs. Lots of them. Lots of my male cousins who I grew up with and worked with at the airport in Queens. And whenever some drugs showed up at the family party, nobody bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was like, oh, that might be Anthony's coke. It never really came up. There was 3 or 4 cousins that we were like, it's one of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not accusing Hunter. I'm just saying for personal experience, in our family, we knew who to go to. So I could imagine that in the White House, it shouldn't be much different. But here's the weird part about this story with the coke in the White House. It was in a locker. Ironically enough, the Department of Justice just released the photograph of the cocaine, and it was in a locker. Locker number 50, for those of you who are curious. I'll put the picture up on the screen for you right now so you can take a look. So the Department of Justice released this photograph. And there it is. There's the locker. There's the little bag of coke in locker number 50 at the entrance to the White House. And again, Daily Mail, credit them. They sued under the Freedom of Information Act, and they were able to get the Secret Service to turn over this information. The Secret Service, by the way, who must be exhausted from doing an entire 11-day investigation into the found coke back in July. This was found. They've cross-brought in a hazmat team first. The building was evacuated. The president was gone, so that wasn't too much of an issue. It's obviously a little calmer on the White House when the president's not there. So the president leaves. That's easy. They find this stuff. They bring in the hazmat people. Then they realize that, oh, okay, this is cocaine. Then the FBI says that they were unable to find the culprit due to, quote, lack of physical evidence. The testing that they did on it failed to turn up fingerprints or sufficient DNA on the bag. Couldn't get fingerprints off of a Coke bag or any kind of DNA off of a Coke bag. Okay. The Secret Service said in a statement, without physical evidence, the investigation will not be able to single out a person of interest from the hundreds of individuals who passed through the vestibule where the cocaine was discovered. Roughly 500 visitors were considered suspects, but Secret Service reps never disclosed whether any were interviewed. The cocaine was later destroyed. Yeah. Again, I have some cousins who like to destroy cocaine that way. What did they do? Did they Karen? Did somebody Karen it and dump it into the toilet and flush it? What are you doing, Karen? Poor fucking Karen. They were gonna find it. Look, here's somebody who knows about flushing coke down a toilet. That's Jay Sebs.
Never. I never did that before in my life, ever. I wonder how I would be on coke. What do you think?
Normal you is too much.
Right, I know.
Interesting. That's interesting. I don't know how you would be. You're not hyper though. For somebody who's nonstop, you're very calm about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder how you would be. We should get some coke and see.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's an experiment for the podcast when you get down to it.
I'm doing it for the people.
Here's the best part about all of this. In the White House, where a location where 500 visitors were coming in and out, there is no footage of anybody putting anything into the lockers. Are you kidding me?
Just say who it is. We know who it is. Biden's son.
They say that there was a lack of footage in the holding area, which is located one floor right beneath the Oval Office and just steps away from the Situation Room. So the two most important locations in the White House, steps away from there, no video footage.
Yeah, okay. Sure. You believe that?
I mean, you can't make this shit up. No, I'll tell you what bothers me the most about this is the word lack.
Right.
Like,
excuse me.
They just go, well, how should we tell people? Just tell them there was a lack of footage.
Right. That'll do it. They'll believe that.
I mean, who's buying any of this? It's fucking crazy. No. An 11-day investigation into cocaine in the White House. And then there's no footage of it. There's no fingerprints on the Coke bag. How do you not have a fingerprint on a bag? I mean, it requires a finger to put in anywhere.
Right. That's what she said.
Ooh. I mean, unless a mystery man just fucking wore gloves and put some Coke in a bag and thought it would be fun to drop it in the White House. It is fucking crazy.
Well,
you have
stranger things have happened.
Listen, you have 24-hour surveillance footage of the front of your door. Your stoop, you can access that anytime you want with little to no issue. I mean, have you ever lost footage of that doorbell camera you got?
No, and let me tell you something. If I could catch people who stole my Nespresso pods, they could find out who planted the Coke.
Yeah. Did you find out who that was, by the way?
Yeah, a bunch of kids. Bastards. And that's right. I did post it on a mom's. Well, it's like not a mom's Facebook group, but it's like a local Facebook group. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, I know who that kid is."
So you found who the kid was.
I got the name. I sent the video to the police, the precinct, and I even got the kid's name, sent him everything. And he was the police officer was like, "So the kid lives with his grandmother," and she said he wasn't there. And I was like, "Oh, I have footage that says otherwise." Because you know what I did? Of course, I had to stop it, take pictures, Now you're telling me if my like shitty Ring camera can take pictures? Come on.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. You identified this. You got stills. You put it out on Facebook. You crowdsourced. You identified the people. Was this done in under 11 days?
Yeah, I think it was done in like a day.
I think there's a job waiting for you at the Secret Service slash and or
No,
FBI.
no, I'm dying. I am dying.
I just don't get it. How can you find somebody who stole something and how big is your neighborhood? I mean, you're talking about tens
Right.
of thousands of people that could have potentially stolen something from your front lawn.
Yep.
And you were able to find it in a day.
Yep.
500 people passed through an area of the White House and they suddenly the cameras don't work. We can't get fingerprints off it.
Come on.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And I'll tell you what, between this and the brothel thing, the amount of blatant bullshit that's going on, just because the news cycle is so fast now, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because people are like, oh, this is crazy. And then we will forget it just as quickly as we learned it.
Well, you want to hear something that's funny is that I didn't find out right away it was stolen. It was delivered on a Thursday. And on Friday, my husband happened to ask me, oh, did you put away the Nespresso pods already? I was like, what Nespresso pods? He was like, we got them yesterday. I was like, no, we didn't. So then he's like, yeah, we did. And he sent me the video of it being delivered. And I was like, oh my God, did someone steal it? And I went back and I was like, oh my God, because you could see, I still have the video too, the kids running, and but they're dumb because this is why it's really dumb these days, because you're on camera. Literally, okay, this is what I have been saying this. If I wanted to kill someone nowadays, I can't do it. Can't do it because I'm getting caught. I'm getting caught. I don't care if it's in not even like a hugely populated area, because they're going to get my car on the highway,
Right.
a picture of it. So you cannot get away with it nowadays. I don't think, unless, I don't know. Maybe I'll just speak to a killer, try to get away with it. But you cannot get away with it. I would be so scared to do something because the camera is always around. Except at the White House.
Except for the White House and Epstein's jail cell and major multi-state brothels. Except for there, it's all, yeah. I said the same thing too about the brothel thing. It's like you're walking into an apartment building. There's a camera.
Right.
There's got to be a camera. There's cameras fucking everywhere.
They're everywhere. I don't know. To me,
like you said, even on a highway, like you couldn't even prove that it was, like they could get your car going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
Yep. I watch too many shows that will tell me. I know. That'll tell me, you can't do this because what if this happens?
So. I know you've been trying to kill that husband of yours for years.
What?
Robin, I caught my mom's burglar in a day years ago. Yeah, I mean, if average citizens are doing this, why can't the most elite police force on the planet figure out?
Well, apparently not.
Figure out who left a little coke behind. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I said this to my wife the other day too, because there was just a big bust in the city from one of the mafia families there, and I'm like, I don't even know how these things are even still existing today. Like it, again, with the amount of cameras that are everywhere.
By the way, recommendation to watch the new Gotti documentary on Netflix. I might have said that already.
I didn't like it. Yeah, well, I didn't think it was that great. There was nothing.
I think because there was a lot of the old neighborhood on it, I liked it.
It was a trip down memory lane. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like pulling out an old family album. But other than that, there was nothing new. There was nothing enticing. I still can't believe they've not made a great movie of his. I mean, his life is so interesting. And
go ahead.
So the two movies that they put out, the cheaper one with Amanda Santi on HBO is better than the one that Travolta did.
Yeah, I know. I heard that too. I think his daughter is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
If you watch, no joke, if you watch her Lifetime movie, there's a lot that you don't know about her.
They made a Lifetime movie about her?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
She's interesting, but um, yeah, no, I was just saying there is nothing on. There is nothing on. Okay,
On
I'm
TV.
upset. I'm upset. Look at me. I'm upset.
You look it.
There's nothing on, and then I'm forced to watch these shows that I fall asleep to. So,
I watched the
oh,
one
look at
with
this.
the good old AOA Flicks Pics here. I watched the one on Netflix with Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay, so I almost watched that one.
It was
Instead,
good.
we watched Old Dads, and I fell asleep.
You didn't like Old Dads? It wasn't great, right? Yeah, I know. The more I let time pass, the less I liked it. Actually, it was decent, but
I
it
probably
wasn't.
should have watched the other one, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'll tell you what. What was I'm trying to
Wait,
find the name of it.
your wife has a really good joke. She just told me.
You can say it.
I can't say it on the air. You have to ask her.
Okay. No Hard Feelings is the one.
Yeah.
It's not outstanding, but it was decent. There was one line in it that I was laughing for 5 minutes over. It
Oh,
was
really?
really
Okay.
yeah. There's one throwaway line that she's great in it. Actually, she's really funny.
Yeah, she is. I like her. Paige, did you see Flight Attendant? Of course I did. First and second season. Because that was a good one. Did you see that one?
Flight Attendant? No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't see that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand though. So just a thought on that.
Go ahead.
Jennifer Lawrence is huge. She does this little movie for Netflix, and she's naked. She does a naked scene
No. You
where
seen
you
this?
see everything,
Like what?
everything.
Her vagina?
Uh-huh.
No way.
Well, not like too up close, but and I think she was wearing one of those like fake bush things.
She had a bush?
Bush.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably fake.
I think it is because they use it to cover up the goods.
Hmm.
But it's on screen for like 45 seconds. I mean, the whole thing is like wild. And I was
I'm
watching it.
dying. No. Are you kidding me?
I swear to God, and I'm like, why? I don't even know why she's doing this. Like, she's like a major actress. The whole
Yeah,
premise
that's
of this,
surprising to me.
right? The whole premise of the movie is kind of strange. I mean, I don't know. And she was like a producer on it and everything. I just feel like she didn't really have to get totally, completely naked and do this scene. But
Yeah,
she's,
that's weird. That is weird.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I was happy to be there for it. But I,
Didn't didn't she get her pic stolen once?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think she was one of those, which is maybe why she's like, "Fuck it, who cares anymore? Everybody's already
Everyone
seen
else saw
me."
my bush.
Yeah, show the bush a little bit. Yeah, what's the big deal? Let's see here. I watched
No, she was
Arrival.
good.
Thanks for the movie tip. I don't know if that's an overwhelming. Was that
Mm.
sarcastic? You could read that two ways.
I know, right?
Thanks for the movie tip, or thanks for the movie tip. I don't
I
know which
watched
one
it.
that was.
Nope. I read it as I watched Arrival. Thanks for the movie tip.
Did you see it? Did you see Arrival?
No.
It's good. It's really good.
I'm telling you, I sit there and I scroll and I go, "You want to watch this? No. You want to watch this? No." I'm like, what am
Mhm.
I doing? I am here trying to find a good show for us to watch, and you just sit there and want to watch bad stand-up comedians. Comedians.
It's hard work. Let me tell you something. We've gotten to the point we complain about everything, and we're at the point now where we're like, we don't know how good we had it
Yeah, I
when
know. I know. When we had something to watch.
there were no
Yep.
choices. When somebody just
Yep.
picked it for us and put it on TV, and we were like, okay, we're either watching this or we're not watching anything.
See, that's kind of why I don't want to get rid of regular cable because I do like to go through the channels, and whatever's on that I like, I'm going to keep it on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like even like old episodes of The Office or Friends. Okay, I'm watching this one. I'm not going to go to Netflix or whatever and go, let me watch this episode. No, I'm going to, what I like, what I see on TV, I'm going to watch it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I got rid of cable and I couldn't be happier.
See?
Nicole says she loved it. And also Mercury said, watched The Rival 2 and I enjoyed it. It's interesting. It really makes you think. I feel like we'll do a full talk on Arrival because you could watch it and go, oh, that's great. But when you really start to think about the movie and what they're preaching to you, it
Ooh,
could fuck you up a little bit. It
ooh,
could fuck you
really?
up a little bit.
Okay.
Two more things. Oreo-Gate and whatever the hell Janine just sent me. I have no idea. Is this for the podcast?
Yeah, you could show it because I'm wondering if anybody else has this problem.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring it up while we talk about Oreo-Gate. Okay. There is a new term out there. I find this to be fascinating. And I think we're gonna get a lot more of this. I think this is gonna be like the new thing that everybody talks about.
Oh boy.
Shrinkflation. Have you heard of shrinkflation?
No. Oh, yes, I have. It's
Shrink
when you buy something, but it actually gets smaller and the price goes up.
because
Like my
inflation's
husband's penis.
because inflation's happening, and companies are trying to cut back, and
Like Doritos.
like they're now accusing Oreo of doing this. They're saying Oreo isn't putting as much cream in the cookie as they used to.
That's what she said. Um,
Hmm.
I don't
Which
know
is
because
interesting
I'm not an
because
Oreo eater.
you know.
Like, if it's there, if I really, really want it, I guess. But I'm not gonna go for it. It's not my go-to. Look at his face. He doesn't believe me. Or you're looking at me disgust.
Well, you review a lot of doorbell footage, not to be sitting there snacking on something. So that's why I'm having a hard time with this. um, but I think, listen, Oreos are interesting in that you do get that little disc of cream in there. They're saying it's gotten thinner and it's also gotten smaller. It's pretty fascinating how they put those Oreos together and you get that little perfect disc of cream
Mm.
that gets put on there. But people are all over the place saying it's the latest incident of shrinkflation where less cream is going into the Oreo than used to be. Now, I'm going to take a controversial stance here. I say good. I
The
say
less
there's
cream, the better.
the less cream, the better. I say there's too much cream in a regular Oreo. That's why I can't get behind these double stuffed crazy maniacs
I
that
agree.
are all out there like more cream, more cream.
I agree. I agree. In fact, aren't you a fan of the thin stuffed Oreos then?
I sure am.
Okay, so there you go.
I definitely am. I think the cream to cookie ratio is an important thing, and I think we're blowing it out just by like, oh, we're getting. It's like people who go to a buffet. It's like you really only eat a plate. Anything over a
Mm.
plate is overkill. You just think you're getting more and it's better, and it's kind of not, you know.
Actually, okay. I'm not a huge fan of them, right? And I haven't been to one and I don't even know how long. But there is a brunch buffet close to me that looks amazing. Like it has all this seafood. It kind of like remind me of what your wedding looked like. Like that
Oh yeah.
seafood. Yes. We should all go.
Well,
So,
seafood buffet. Let me
yes.
just say, my previous statement with withholding the seafood buffet. I have a lot of respect for a seafood buffet.
Right.
I have
No,
nothing
it's
against that.
it's not just seafood though. It's other things, but I want to go to it.
All right,
And
text
I
me what
don't
this place is.
and I don't like brunch and I don't like buffets, but this looks amazing. How about that?
Yeah, my wife is not a big fan of buffets. She doesn't like any situation where other people can sneeze and snot on your
Oh no,
food.
I figured that. No.
Yeah.
I just don't like the fact you're going to laugh at this. I don't like when eggs and like non-breakfast items are next to each other. Because here's the
What?
thing. I
What
don't
was
like
that?
when like eggs and like chicken parm are next to each other.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you
So okay.
I that's why I don't love brunch. If we ever go to brunch, I will pick the lunch item. I will not pick the breakfast item. And I hate that it's lumped together. I'd rather just have lunch. Oh my god, I don't like breakfast. There you go.
I didn't know you had such a problem with brunches.
Oh yeah, no. It's kind of like a running joke. Like people know like I don't like brunch. If you were my real friend, you would know that.
Like that's true. Well, it's evident we're not real friends.
No.
What you're saying is separate but equal. You're okay with breakfast. You just don't want it being next to brunch or next to lunch.
No.
Okay.
Like a true man, you're not listening.
No, you
I
said you
don't
don't like
no,
breakfast
I
items.
know.
I get that.
I don't like breakfast. I don't generally like breakfast. Like my go-to breakfast, which is almost every single day, is a bar. I don't really have eggs or bacon or any of the other stuff. Like that's it, a bar. So even when I go out to eat, I rather have lunch or dinner. I don't want to have breakfast because I
I agree
feel
with that.
and also more than anything, I hate hate the way breakfast smells. I hate the way breakfast smells. It gets in your hair. That smell, that greasy bacon egg smell. Blech. God, I'm a princess.
You have a lot of. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So okay, let's get back to this. Let's break this down for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love breakfast. Okay, don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really dislike eggs sitting next to chicken parm or penne alla vodka. I don't like them together. And you know what's really funny? If I go out to people, if I go out with people for lunch for brunch, and like I want everybody to order lunch items like me. I don't like when they order breakfast items.
So 8 people go out to brunch. Everybody orders lunch except for one person. You're gonna be like that fucking asshole over there.
I'll get annoyed in my head.
Why?
Because I just there's just something about it. Oh,
All right. Can I say something?
go ahead.
I think I'm gonna surprise people here when I say
That you like brunch.
I'm with you.
Oh,
I'm with you almost all the way until we get to the Eggs Benedict. And the
okay.
Eggs Benedict is just an outstanding star of the breakfast lineup.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you like that? Like, what's your okay? So it's like I just say runny eggs. What do you like a sauce on top? Do you like it on
Yes.
avocado toast?
No, Eggs Benedict, right? The runny eggs, like you just said, but they're poached. So even the white is different, it's a bit
Yeah.
softer. And a Bernier sauce right on top. Like that is that lemony, garlicky, lemony, buttery sauce right on top is to die for. You get that on top of a little slice of ham with an English muffin or a little crab cake, maybe down there.
Okay. Now I will. Okay, so I will tell
Baby.
you this.
Yeah.
I recently tried that, like in the last few years. I would not look at that at all, right? I'd be like, how do people eat this? But I'm like, let me try it. I actually do like it.
It's
I
phenomenal.
I do. It's an acquired taste, I'd say. Not everybody loves it, right?
Hmm.
Hold on. I want to see if I could
Because
the one that I get is I only get it one place.
where else do you get a nice little again it's the hollandaise or the beignets or hollandaise whatever you're putting on it. People put both. I think it's hollandaise really mostly. Oh, the bird hollandaise. Thank you, bird. And
Can
you.
I yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna tell you. Can I tell you what I? This is what I
Please,
get:
please.
avocado BLT Benedict. over a toasted ciabatta with eggs, hickory smoked bacon, grilled
Mm.
tomatoes, hollandaise sauce, lemon dressed peppery baby arugula, topped with sliced avocado.
Oh, that sounds good.
Can you clean up the mess in your pants, please?
Could you tell I have an erection? Because that sounds like perfection on a plate.
Okay, now, first time I tried this, I was like, I remember that day, I was like, it's a little too early for lunch, but I don't want eggs and bacon. So whoever I was with was like, just try this. And I was like, that's not me. Like, and like, just try it. So I was like, all right. So I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
It is very good. But besides that, no. But this place, I'm going to send it to you
Send it over to me.
because this is up my alley. This is just,
There are two places that I completely love. One of them does the Benedict over. They put a little spinach, and then they put a nice little crab cake underneath that. And just when you get the yolk and the hollandaise mixing, and you sop it up with the crab cake, oh, heaven, heaven. This other place, which I don't go to as often, it's quite bougie. They do theirs on an English popover,
oh,
and
those look good.
they do it with lobster. So it's like a lobster Benedict, and
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much to die for too. That's like you eat that though, and you're like, you got to take the day off. It's so rich and delicious.
That's it, right? Okay.
That's it. That's all there is to it. But the Benedict is the star for me. Outside of that, there's no real reason for a buffet, a breakfast. And I'm with you. And I do. There is some stupid thing where there's like a fucking. There's always like a penny vodka next to like waffles, and you're like, this doesn't work.
Like, why? Why? Like,
All right, you just sent me this place, and I tell you already, the name annoys the shit out of me. What a stupid name.
you hate it. Why am I like?
This name is so dumb. Is this place new?
Yep, pretty new.
Okay, because 707 followers is not impressive. Food looks good though. Is this the place with the seafood buffet?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll try. Oh, look at this! All you can eat brunch every Saturday. Got a big fat lobster claw on there. $55.95 a person.
Yep.
That ain't
But
bad.
nope, it's worth it.
Is it full chilled lobster? See, I don't love that. Eat the lobster up, goddammit. Salads, omelets. That's the other thing too. We get a little crazy with the omelet. People overvalue omelet stations. Let's be honest.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I love an omelet station." I'm like, "No, not me."
Yeah, I'm the same way. Unless you're making a big Benedict on that omelet station, I'm not impressed at all.
You know what? I think I don't love an omelet because usually the egg is cooked too much, and I hate the brown on the egg. If that makes sense,
Yeah, that makes sense.
don't like it. So, yeah, no, you got to go here.
I think this does look good. Are those oysters and clams? Yeah. Okay. I think the omelet stations are for control freaks because they could be like, I want onions, and I would like 4 mushrooms, please. And it's like very controlled. Very controlled situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm glad we got some. I think we've made progress.
I think so.
I think
So
we've really.
let's see if we can invite everyone to go to brunch.
No, I don't think we could do that. We don't hang out as friends anymore. But
No, we don't.
we've made some progress.
Right.
All right, now, viewer discretion advised. What on earth is this that we're looking at here? Because this looks disgusting to me.
I want you to zoom in and try to tell me what you see, what you think it could be.
I think those are bugs of some sort. Are those fruit
Okay.
flies?
Yep. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we had a fruit fly infestation in my house.
Mhm.
And I can't, and this isn't even, so I was like, what the hell do we do? So I was drinking wine Friday night, and I was like, oh wait, I read that attracts them, so I left a little bit in there, and I'd say about half of these went in there, and then the next morning there was more, all of these.
Is
So
that
this,
your wine?
yep, but I also put a few drops of dishwashing soap in there because it's supposed to not let them get out.
Right. Yeah, I've heard
So,
that.
but when I told my sister-in-law, she's like, "Oh yeah, we had that too." And so did someone else. There's something going on that first of all, I don't keep fruit in my house, like out.
So what are they doing there?
Oh no.
It's in the name, damn it. Fruit
Right.
flies.
But you know what's funny? I remember at work we had this problem a couple of years ago, and we couldn't figure out why they were coming in. We don't know why. Still don't know why. But we left out vinegar. I did get vinegar, but it wasn't attracting them like the wine was.
This is gonna sound really dumb, but yeah, where do they come? Are they flying from far
I don't even
distances?
know. I
Are they
don't know.
smelling it? How does it work?
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel really stupid for not knowing. I'm sure
I
somebody's gonna
know.
be like, some larva gets
Mhm.
hatched and there's like 90 of them. That's got to be it, right? Because what? How else could you explain this?
They say they could come in with fruit and they um, put their eggs on the fruit and then it hatches. So I'm thinking maybe bananas that I had gotten, but like we don't keep them out. Like not that we don't keep them out. They go fast. So I don't know.
It just seems gross to me.
And yes, somebody else said because it hasn't been really cold here, that's why they're still alive too. Yep.
It's been
So
strange weather-wise here, hasn't it been?
mhm. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, Renee
So
says it's happening elsewhere. Must be right hatching conditions, still warm outside. Yeah,
mhm.
it's been warm here.
Yep. So I don't know. Disgusting though.
That is pretty disgusting.
But
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
why are you buying such shitty wine? That looks like shitty wine.
Well, it's mixed in with the soap.
Oh, okay. All right. You're not drinking
What?
rosé or anything like that, are
Oh
you?
no, that's Josh wine, okay, motherfucker?
What did you say? That's Josh wine?
You don't know what Josh wine is?
No.
Goodbye.
I don't know what Josh wine is.
Okay, let's hear it for Josh wine. No? Josh Sellers?
Oh, I don't know. Is that a particular wine brand?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know.
Oh wait. Hold on, I just thought of something. I did watch something good, but it's over. And you didn't like it, but I thought it was really good. David Beckham documentary.
Ugh, you watched that? Was it good?
Yes.
What was so good about it? The part where he cheats on her and she pretends like it didn't happen?
The part where they show him a lot with his shirt off.
Oh God. All right.
I'll tell you something, he could still get it. I mean, he's not old, but he still looks good.
He's a good looking dude.
Hmm.
Hmm. That's interesting.
So, but you're not into soccer, so you probably,
No.
yeah, I am. So interesting.
I'm actually mad at him and his wife for creating the Beckham challenge on TikTok. Have you seen
What's
this?
that? No.
So there's that song, the Islands in the Sun. Islands in this, I forget what it is. But I guess they played it in the documentary and she's dancing and then he comes in and starts dancing.
Oh,
So now now women are they're filming themselves and that song is playing and they're dancing to see if their husband will start dancing. And
yep.
I just hate every part of this. I just hate all of it. I hate that this cheating son of a bitch has caused like it's like their marriage is a it's fake. It's propped up fake. He
You think so?
clearly cheated multiple yeah. Like she
Well,
deserves so much better and now we're going to base a relationship test on this asshole.
Yeah,
That
okay, now I get it.
that's one thing that bothers me. The second thing that bothers me is I hate most of the couples that create content together on TikTok. It is 99% of the time horrific, pre-planned, poorly acted dog shit.
I agree with that. But do you like Carlos and Sarah?
I don't know who Carlos and Sarah is.
He's from Italy, and she met him there when she was on vacation, and then so
Well, them
he
I like, and then so she
okay,
does things to piss him
yeah,
off. Yeah, them. That's okay. That seems genuine to me because any Italian gets that aggravated over minor things like sauce versus gravy. Anyway,
I think he's adorable.
yeah, he is
Like
adorable.
but they're good. But I know there's a lot of them are like it's like forced. You know what I mean?
So fucking
And I hate
forced.
that. I hate that.
I hate all of it. And then anything where they try and make a guy dance annoys me for some reason because I just feel like men don't really want to dance. We do it.
Wow, really?
I do take pleasure in dancing. I like having a couple drinks and dance. I don't mind it. But when my wife's camera is propped up on the kitchen counter and she's dancing, you will not see me dancing next to
No.
her. It's not going to happen.
Mm.
In fact, I will probably pick up the phone and smash it and be filming that with my phone to put it on my TikTok. Yeah. I'll be like this. Now, how's your islands in the sun? How does
Yeah,
that
really.
fucking feel?
I do remember them doing that in the documentary.
It's so
I found
annoying.
I found that to be kind of weird, but I was like, okay, whatever.
And I hate how excited the woman gets when the husband finally does start dancing. But it's like, what choice have you given him? He can see the fucking phone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Stop getting so excited. You conned him into this, and now you're like, oh, I have such a good man. Meanwhile, he's probably some accountant that's going to these high-end Asian prostitutes in Boston, Massachusetts, or Virginia.
Or Virginia.
Yeah. So
Who knows?
The Beckham challenge, I wish would stop right away. But how many episodes was that show?
4.
That sounds like too many.
I like it because they gave the history of his soccer career, and I'm interested in that. So if you're not, then I could see how it could be boring.
Mm-hmm.
But oh god, he is. Oof, I could not get tired of looking at him.
I was gonna say, are you interested because he's good looking? Because I was interested in Jennifer Lawrence's latest film too, which was kind of mediocre.
Yeah, her and her fake bush.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Creep.
It was a big fake bush. I mean, it was big. It was robust.
Really? Was it like a joke that it was?
No, not overly. No, she's very attractive, which she's kind of an enigma because there's nothing special about her or unique, but I find her to be incredibly attractive.
You do?
I don't know why that is.
I don't know.
I don't know if I've been imprinted from her scene in Silver Linings Playbook, and if that has just always been on my mind.
Which scene?
It was the scene where she's in I don't even remember what she said, to be honest with you, but she's in the diner talking to Bradley Cooper, and she's recounting like some wild sexual evening. And she's like, has some mental issues or whatever, and she's going down this path of telling. I think it was about her being with another girl, I think, from what I can remember. And he's just like, he can't believe what he's hearing. And it was very like, holy shit. Like that was the first movie I saw her in.
Okay.
I didn't watch any of the I'll Take Me as Tribute movies, whatever that fucking was that she was in. So I don't know if I was really imprinted into that first character and that's what's on my mind forever. But yeah, I don't know. I think she's but I feel like you're doing the same thing with Beckham where you're like, "Oh, I want to know about his soccer career." When do you? Like, do you care about ugly soccer players' careers too? Thank you. Because you put anybody else in that Jennifer Lawrence role from that movie, and I'm not really going to be as interested in it.
You're not going to watch it.
Probably not. Probably not.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to watch it then.
I guess so. But if you didn't like old dads, I didn't put this that much higher than old dads. I mean, it ain't that much of a bigger step up.
No.
Which breaks my heart because I do love Build Bar.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anything else? Any other fruit flies you want to talk about?
Not any except you. Heyo.
I had flies in my house today. I don't know where they came from, but it was another thing where it was freezing out today, and I feel like they all just dove in to get some warmth before they just inevitably died.
Weird that you say that because one was in my daughter's classroom and she freaked out.
Because there was a fly in it? Yeah. I think they just sense warmth and they go in, and it's already too late.
Sorry, Kat. Ugh.
Their faith has already been decided. All right, J Sabs. Appreciate you as always. I'm glad we had this breakfast conversation.
Whew.
Have to shoot it straight with America sometimes. Tell them what they need to hear.
People need to know.
Yeah. I wonder if the brunch buffet is as big of a thing outside of America. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's one of the shitty things that Americans do that people are like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I think so too.
With the eggs next to the macaroni.
Yep.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. Love you all. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Show me potato salad.
Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead.